Yo, what up, Stomp Wrestling Nation? So, we got another one for you guys. As you know, it's your boy MPKH. And yes, guys, I'm unfiltered again. What a coincidence. What a day. What a day for me to be unfiltered. and I've got the Beanie Boy and only the Beanie Boy and Mr. No Days Off, Mr. WrestleDrop. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about something that's been on the mind of majority of every single wrestling fan watching AEW. What the absolute fuck is happening with Bryan Danielson? So guys, I know everybody loves Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to call him. We all love the guy. He's one of the best technical wrestlers of all time. But lately, his booking in AEW has been so atrocious to the point that we are seeing shades of WCW Bret Hart. Yeah, I'm reaching that far, but it's the truth. So, I want to ask you guys what you think about Bryan Danielson's AEW run right now. And the person that I'm going to ask first, whose idea it was originally, is Mr. WrestleDrop. Mr. WrestleDrop, what are you saying about Bryan Danielson's AEW run?
Well, firstly, Bret Hart at least won a title in WCW. It was the US title, but at least he won a title. Danielson can't even beat Jericho, 50-year-old Jericho, for the ROH Championship, which is a title he's won before. So, I don't know. This booking is just so frustrating. You put him up against Moxley just to lose. You put him up against Jericho just to lose. Why put him in those matches? Why? You put him up against Hangman to lose when he first arrived. Why? Or not lose. It was time limit draws. Still, not to win the title. Why do that? Like, Danielson has been one of the biggest baby faces for the last 10, 15 years. And the whole point of his babyface run was the build-up. And now you're just throwing him into these matches for no reason, letting him lose. And now when he eventually gets that win, if he does, currently it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's going to mean nothing because there was no build-up. He had his shot already several times and lost.
Exactly.
So that's the way I'm looking at it right now. And it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Beanie Boy, and only the Beanie Boy, what you got to say? What do you got to say about Danielson's run?
Hey man, what run? What run? I think no, for real, I think Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan WWE was booked better by the WWE because they knew what they had in him. You know what I'm saying? Whereas AEW just signed Bryan Danielson to knock on WWE. I feel like they don't understand. They didn't even understand when bringing him what they have in Daniel Bryan, who Daniel Bryan is, because Daniel Bryan, like Mr. WrestleDrop said, is one of the best technical wrestlers, one of the biggest baby faces in a very long time. The guy can go, the guy can speak, there's nothing that Bryan Danielson cannot do. And for the fact that, and I know, I'm not saying his booking in WWE was perfect, but what I'm saying is AEW differs from WWE in the fact that they don't understand what they have with the guy. Bryan can go with anyone, he can carry any company, and he's just a bona fide star. He doesn't even fit the mold of what a professional wrestler should look like, but he still knocks it out the park every single time. So I think it's very unfortunate that he had to leave a position of comfort, so to speak, just to be treated the way he's being treated in AEW. Hence, I'm asking what run, because we've seen nothing except horrible booking, squashes to 50-year-olds, as has been said. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. And I feel like if he was given the opportunity to wrestle in WWE, I think he'd be doing so much better.
So basically, in my opinion, Bryan Danielson's run has been terrible. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Like, the minute I knew Bryan Danielson was gonna be in AEW, I thought to myself, okay, All right. I don't expect him
Finally.
to be AEW World Champion. I just expect him to put on good matches, put over some young talent, but to the point where he's even being fucked over because you booked Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson. Some people would say is a dream match, and I'd say it's one of the best AEW matches in their short history. And go to a time limit draw, and then oh boy, you're no rematch, and there was no build up, nothing. It just happened because the fans wanted it, and yeah.
Basically,
Then
Tony Khan was impatient and just booked the match as soon as
Yeah.
possible. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
exactly. And
And
Lord
goes
knows,
back to
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Lord
yeah.
knows how impatient he would have been if he's booked CM Punk versus Bryan Danielson. Lord knows that would also be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's,
I think it goes back to what I've said on numerous occasions, many times, that AEW needs a wrestling mind for creative, because I feel like Tony Khan just wants to make bank, and he's got a great roster, but he just does not know how to use them. And I think we are more influential in his decision making than story is, or than pro wrestling is, because if we shout loud enough that we want Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk tomorrow,
he does
we're
it.
probably going to get Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Whereas if someone like a William Regal was to be in creative, he'd say, let's put this off. Let's plant
It'll
seeds.
happen.
Let's build.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
It'll
saying?
happen.
Hopefully. But
Exactly.
yeah, I think Tony Khan just needs to. I don't think he's going to, because he's already effed up Daniel Bryan in AEW. But I think if there's someone to step into that role as head of creative, I think there's still a chance. But if we're speaking about from his debut to now, it's fucked. Throw the whole thing out.
Hence why we made that William Regal video a couple months earlier. Go
Yeah,
check it
Head of
out.
creative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know where it really
Oh,
went downhill for me with Danielson was
Yeah.
Anarchy in the Arena, when Danielson
Oh, yeah.
Danielson was the one that tapped or passed out. That for me, I was like, oh, you've literally got Wheeler Yuta wasn't there, but you've literally got, it was Danielson, Moxley. Okay, they can't take a pin. There was Santana and Ortiz, I think, were in that match. They can all take a pin. There was Eddie Kingston can take a pin. Because let's face it, that Jericho feud carried on for another 6 months, so he could have taken the pin. But they had,
and it was shit.
but they had Danielson of all people take the pin, or take the fall, however you want to phrase it. That for me was okay. Tony Khan doesn't respect Danielson's legacy or what he's done previously, because he should not be taking the fall in that situation. And then since then, he's lost to Moxley, he's lost to Jericho. Yeah, it just hasn't worked for me. I think he lost to Garcia as well, and then beat him the following week. Made no sense to me as well. Garcia literally made him tap, which was as well another issue for me, because he can make Garcia look good. He can make Garcia look good by winning. Like, Garcia doesn't need to beat him to look good. If that's the case, then there's a problem with Garcia. Because Garcia should be looking good just by being in a match with Danielson, if he's that good.
Exactly.
So
it even stemmed to how we saw Bryan Danielson versus Wheeler Yuta. Like, they were building Wheeler Yuta up as the next young prospect in AEW, even though I'm not really the biggest Wheeler Yuta fan. But why couldn't you do that with Garcia? Like, really? I love Daniel Garcia, and I want to see him have a similar career to Bryan Danielson's. But he did not need to beat Danielson in that match. You could have gone.
It makes me think of Moxley, because Moxley faced Yuta, he faced Takeshita, he faced, I can't remember exactly who else now he faced, but during his title run and before his title run, and his interim title run, And all those people looked so much better just by being in the match with Moxley than they would have before. So, yeah. Anyway, back to the topic. Danielson's being
I
ruined.
think he is. And I think it was, well, it still is very unfortunate. The way he debuted, bro, it gave hope. You know what I'm saying? It gave hope for a changing of the times in AEW. Because AEW, before that big night of debuts, named Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan's day, it was just the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. It was the elite show. You know what I'm saying? It was all elite wrestling, literally.
Yeah.
And then Adam Cole came out and Bryan Danielson came out. And I mean, that's when people open their eyes to AEW, thinking to themselves, okay, they've got it. You know what I'm saying?
There was some
And
variety
I'm not
to
saying
the show.
exactly. And I'm not saying Adam Cole isn't as big as Daniel Bryan or as good as Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan made people's eyebrow raise because they know the potential that they have in Bryan Danielson. But yeah, since that debut, I mean, that's been the highest point of Bryan's run in AEW, and that is very, very unfortunate.
You know what?
Very unfortunate.
I'd argue that even if Danielson was nowhere near the title scene, he didn't need to be. Even if he was nowhere near any title, they could have had him do almost like a lost run where he faces different people, like just for the sake of having a match. I know that completely goes against what we just said now. But if you put it that way, where he's just going on his last run, I'm not sure how many years he has. So this is just a thought on my head. So, for example, he faces some guys from Japan, because obviously they bring in some people from Japan. He faces some guys from here. He faces some guys from there. People that we wouldn't have seen, that we've been hoping for, and that be the whole story. I'd be fine with that.
Some ROH veterans.
Exactly. I'd be fine with that. But the fact that they haven't maybe put it that direction and they've gone, okay, he's going for the title, he's doing this, he's doing that, and then made him lose, it's made it worse.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it stems to the other video we made about who should be the next AEW World Champion. I did say a short title reign for Bryan Danielson is not good enough. Like, he deserves a reign.
I begged for Danielson to win that. I begged.
I think most of us did. I even said, hell, you guys are saying Danielson, Moxley's winning at the end of the day. And it was right.
Then you jinxed it. Yeah.
And then I begged for Danielson to beat Jericho last week. That didn't happen.
I already knew they were going to fuck up. I already knew Jericho was going to win because I told you.
It was too soon.
Yeah.
Tony Khan was looking for that big Canada match, and he didn't even get a million views in his ratings. So apparently don't know if that really helped. What?
Apparently they got 3 million views. Hey,
they got 900k. It was 980 something.
Yeah, but somebody advertised it as they got 3.75 million.
Maybe that was from a different country, but I'm talking America's ratings. America's like WWE get like 10 million in India, so. No, I'm being serious. Why are you laughing, bro?
Basically, everyone in India watches wrestling.
What do you mean? There's like 1 billion people in India, bro.
Hey, but that's not a WWE versus AEW video.
No. I'm pointing out the fact that different countries get different viewership. So AEW could be getting 3 million in the UK easily, for example, but 900k in America. That's what I'm trying to point out. I'm not playing the tribalism game. So.
Yeah, no, we're not tribalists. We
love pro wrestling.
Yeah. We love the positives. We talk about the positive, talk about the negatives. And Bryan Danielson being booked like a jackass is
big L.
And it's not our fault there's more negatives in AEW than positives. So don't come at us for that either. We're just talking about how it is.
And the same people who could come for us for saying such things are the same people who said AEW is a viable competition for WWE. They always want to scream the loudest when things are going well, but they never want to hear it when things aren't going that well. We're here to speak about pro wrestling, unbiased, whether it's
Freakazoids.
WWE or
Freakazoids.
or AEW.
Says Freakazoids in 2022. Really?
Only Ariel Hawani could do that.
But yeah,
Anyways.
guys, I want to raise a question to you. What should happen with Bryan Danielson? What should happen?
I rate to
Hey,
just put
man.
him on a last run now. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
many
think
years he's
so.
got. That's my point. If he's got 3 years left, my idea is not going to work. If he's got a year and a half, 2 years, put him on a last run. Let him go to Japan. Let him go to this. Let him do that. Let him have matches, because I think it's too late for this title run situation. It's just not going to feel the way it should have for me. Unless they can fix it and push him, and then he beats MJF in the end.
I was about to say that if, like you're saying, the last run comes and he puts together, as we know he can, a long line of very great matches, ultimately leading to him fighting for the AEW championship and winning it, then retiring as champ, I think that would be something more memorable. Obviously, like we said, though, he's Daniel Bryan. He doesn't need to be in the championship picture. But I mean, AEW owes it to us as fans. I mean, they don't owe us anything, to be honest. But we want to see Daniel Bryan in that position. So if you could go to Japan, go to the UK, go to America, just Canada, everywhere there's wrestling, and just fight, and eventually come back to America and win the big one. I think that would be a perfect, and retire as champ.
Exactly.
That would be the perfect end.
Because who doesn't want to see Bryan Danielson kick somebody's head in?
Nobody on this call.
Because
nobody on this call doesn't want to see that.
I think majority of people that watch a Bryan Danielson match are always like, "You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in."
You're reminding me of that Anarchy in Arena match again, bro.
They were chant. That chant was born even before that.
Yeah, but
Anarchy in the
he screamed it and then tapped out. So that's how I'm looking at it. I remember him screaming it, and then Jericho basically, or Hager,
cool.
hitting him with the fucking rope turnbuckle thing, and then them making him pass out. So that's why I remembered that match.
It's crazy. That's crazy, man. But
anyway,
what can we do?
I think that's us for this video.
Anyways, yeah, that's all from us today. Let us know in the comments, are you satisfied with Bryan Danielson's booking? Because your favorite Stomp boys aren't, especially yours truly. Yeah. He had a field day, because I had a field day being unfiltered. God damn. Oh. Lord, today. Let us know in the comments what you make of this Bryan Danielson situation. Are you happy? Are you unhappy? Let us know. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and tap on that bell icon to be notified when your favorite Stomp boys appear next on your screen. If you did enjoy it, stomp that like button. And as we say, you guys are just too sweet.
Wee!